Hello YouTube, and as you can see now, we are actually in the Monroe County Public Library. They have a new place called Level Up, where you can basically rent a green screen room, and it's free. You can reserve, should I say, a green screen room or an audio room, and then they have free editing software you can use on a Mac, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we got some stuff for you today, and just kind of bear with us here because this is new to us. It's probably new to you guys. A lot better equipment, but as we're looking at the screen that's in front of us to see where we're at in the frame, there's a little lag on the computer.
At least on our part, it may not show up.
It's not going to show up on you guys' part, but on our part. So if we make a mistake, just keep in mind it's new to us still.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all for a better quality video for you guys.
So,
and of course, our review today,
Battlestar Galactica, guys. You guys may not be able to see it. We'll try to figure it out when we edit.
We'll zoom in and do some cool tricks. But
yeah.
So
this game,
as always, I'm Jesse.
I'm Austin.
And like we said, today we'll be talking about Battlestar Galactica, the board game. Now, I would say, yeah, it's a great game. You each have your roles. You have hidden roles of the Cylons and the humans, and basically, the basic idea for this game, at least the base game anyways, is get to Earth. And you have said X number of jumps. I think it's 8. Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
8 jumps to get to Earth. And in the process of doing this, you've got those dirty toasters trying to mess up everything you're trying to do to get there, which is really awesome. It has the hidden rules are something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I like trying to figure out, oh, you did this, so clearly you must be a Cylon, when it's possible that they're not, because you hand out loyalty cards, and in the first half of the game there may not even be a Cylon, depending on how the cards are dealt.
Yeah.
You may not even get both Cylons till the second phase of the game.
So, the thing about this game, it's 3 to 6 players, but it's much better with probably, I'd say, 5 or more. Probably 5 to 6 players.
Yeah, 6 is the sweet spot. 5, that's cool too. I've never had the opportunity to play it with 3. I don't think I would really care for it at 3.
Probably not.
Honestly. Now, the cool part is you don't have to have seen the TV show to enjoy or play this game.
No.
But if you have, it always makes it even more fun for those of you playing the game, because then you can throw around, you'll hear lingo from the show the entire time you're playing this game. You fracking toaster and such.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. So you don't have to really know the show, but it always makes it more fun if you have, because like I said, you can throw around the lingo. You can understand these characters in a different kind of way. But if not, that's the great thing about this. You can still play the game, still really enjoy this game, even without having seen the show, which I think is a great benefit of this game. And so you can enjoy it no matter what, which I think is a great benefit, like I said, because you just don't understand all the lingo that may be thrown around at the table.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You'll catch on. Best way I can explain this. This is based, for all of you who have seen the remake of VSG. This is basically first season in a box, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so.
And you have a really neat board, which I will pull out here.
Now, guys, some of the video I might actually, so we can get a close-up of this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my camera on my phone so we can get a close-up of this for you guys. We'll try to put it down in the corner or something.
Here's the board of awesome.
You probably can't really see through that.
Kind of, but not too much.
So here's the board, guys.
Down
Just so
here
you
on
guys
the
can
bottom of
see
the board, you will see Battlestar Galactica
Hold on, Jesse.
with
Because
your various rooms on the ship.
I'm going to record it for them so they can see up close because they can't see with that. So, okay, so here's the board, guys. I'm just kind of doing this so you guys can see it better.
So, on the bottom you actually have the Battlestar Galactica, and you have the various rooms. Up top you've got your resources, which is your fuel, your food, your morale, and your population. Over here you've got your Cylon locations. You've got your jump track, and you've got your Cylon boarding party.
So, yeah.
Over here you have the President's ship. And up top you've got your Destiny deck, your Damaged Vipers, and your Hangar deck.
So yeah, I just thought I would get a little video on my phone, a little close up, so you guys can see
And
it.
so, what you will do is you've got your 4 different tracks up here for fuel, food, morale, population. Now, if us as humans, if we reach Earth, we win. If any of our resources drop to 0, Cylons win. If they can stop us from reaching Earth, Cylons win.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it feels like the show to me, because every turn it's just like, oh, what is going on? Oh boy, so much trouble. What are we gonna do? We got all these ships over here. We've got Cylons boarding here. Oh boy. And you definitely, as the show, you watching, there's that intensity of what is going on. Where are the Cylons? Where are they? What are they doing? They're always coming at you.
Mouse's a Cylon.
You know, they're always coming at you. And I feel like this board game actually captures that quite well.
Yep.
You feel that pressure of being tracked down and hunted by the Cylons as you go through this game, turn by turn. And so basically, a turn consists of, you move to one of the various spots on the ship to do a certain thing there. If you go to weapons control, you can shoot down some ships. If you go to the FTL, you can jump the fleet, which comes with its negatives and its positives.
Yeah.
If you reach the end of the jump track, you will jump and you get through to the next phase of your journey. But you can jump early and get out of there as fast as possible. But if you jump early, there's a possible consequence. If you jump 2 spots early, you have a possibility of a -3. You could lose 3 population. If you jump 1 spot early, you could lose 1 population. So basically you jump and something happened and not all your ships made it through to the next point, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Because you have to plan it out. You got to be able to when to jump. If we're jumping early, this is a risk, but we need to do this. We need to get out of here. We're surrounded by all these Cylon ships and all that other crazy nonsense that you just need to get out of there. So it's a risk. You got to figure out, do I jump early? Do I wait? Do we try to pull it out without losing people? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to tell because you never really know. So basically, your turn, you move someone on the ship, you do said thing. And at the end of every turn, you draw a crisis card, which is basically a skill check that you have to meet. Say it's like a 13, whatever color, which we will get into the color cards in a little bit. If you meet the skill check, cool. You get through, you overcome that obstacle. If you don't meet the skill check, bad stuff happens, and the Cylons have managed to interfere or hinder you in some kind of way.
Yeah.
So you want to avoid that as much as possible. And so basically, and you have a Destiny deck. Now on to the cards. You've got yellow, green, purple, red, and blue, which is politics, leadership, tactics, piloting, and engineering. And you get to play the various characters from the show. Gaius Baltar, Starbuck, Apollo,
Starbucks,
Adama, Rosalind.
I like Starbucks stuff.
And yeah.
All you Starbuckers out there.
Yeah, she was kind of cute. But so you play different characters, and each character can only draw certain colors of cards.
Yeah.
And you take 2 colored cards, 2 of the cards from each deck, mix them together as a Destiny deck. And at the beginning of every check, you take 2 cards from the Destiny deck and toss them in. Then the rest of the players will play in as many cards as they want into that skill check. Say you want yellow and green. Those are the colors that count as positive. Well, if you're a human, you're going to play as many of those yellow-green cards as you can.
Yeah.
But again, you don't want to play too many because you don't want to go too far over and dump too many cards because you have another skill check that next turn.
Yeah.
And so you've got to balance. How many cards am I going to play? Well, you don't know because you have no idea what everybody else played. Cylons also get to play in the skill check, and they will play the negative cards, which is a pain because you really don't know who they are.
I know who they are. If you guys got a pet cat playing, it's definitely them.
Oh, bye.
We've had experience with this. Trust us.
All right. So basically that's how that works. And if you succeed, you avoid the crisis, and then you move on to the next turn. If you don't, something bad will happen, whatever that may be. And it'll tell you, and some have a middle ground where you get a partial win, so something bad will happen, but not as bad as if you totally bomb it.
Right.
So that's always nice to see those come up. And so we will pull out some of these character cards here for you guys. So what do you think of the gameplay and how this all
I
comes
like it. Kind of wish you could like somehow find out exactly who the Cylon is. I mean, you can have a really good guess at who it is,
But that's kind of the fun of it. You don't really know for sure.
yeah, I mean it's fun, but like, too bad you couldn't like try to blackmail them somehow.
Oh well, I mean,
I know you're the Cylon. I'm gonna blackmail you. You're gonna do this, and I'm gonna
if they're
expose
really
you.
bad at what they do and they're playing it badly, you'll know. But if you got a good group of gamers, it's gonna be hard to know who's who and what's what.
Unless you're Daffy Duck.
And so basically you've got some neat characters here you can pick from. You've got Apollo, which is Leodama, and each character has their once per game that they can use, obviously once per game, and they have a flaw which will impede them throughout the game under certain circumstances. Which is cool. You got some pilots, you got military leaders, you got support, you got political leaders, and different variations for different characters. Now, for all of those people who have seen this stuff, you will know all about this man here.
I don't think they can.
Gaius Baltar. That guy. You know that guy. Well, his flaw, he's a coward. It fits. Basically, he starts the game with 2 loyalty cards instead of 1. So by the sleeper phase, which is the second phase of the game, and you get dealt another loyalty card, Gaius is going to end up with 3 total cards, while just about everybody else ends up with 2. You also have Boomer. If you watch the show, you know who that is. She's a sleeper agent, which means she gets dealt 2 loyalty cards during the sleeper phase instead of the beginning of the game, which means her and Gaius will each have 3 loyalty cards by the end of the game. So those 2 have a higher chance of getting a Cylon card. Now there's a chance that you could end up as a double Cylon. That's always fun. And Cylons have their own special ability that they get to put into play when they reveal. So at any point in the game, if you're a Cylon, you can flip over your loyalty card and go, I'm a Cylon. You move over to the Cylon locations and then screw with the players that way. Now, if you're in the brig, your special power will not go off. But if you manage to stay out of the brig long enough to reveal, your power goes off. And they got some pretty nasty ones.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, if you're a Cylon, stay out of the brig and reveal. And sometimes you reveal at the right moment, and it just messes everybody over, which is beautiful if you're a stinking toaster. You also have William Adama, Chief Galen Tyrrell, Tom Zarek, that guy, Laura Roslin, Saul Ty, Starbuck, Hilo, of course Boomer, Gaius, Apollo, and those are your basic core players that you get with the base game. And like I said, each one will draw different colors for their own character.
Yep.
Like the leader, William Adama. He gets, as this card here, you won't be able to see it quite, but there's 2 colors here. Leadership and tactics. He draws 3 green and 2 purple. So, that's where when you watch to see what cards are coming up through the course of these skill checks. If a blue came up, you know it can't be Adama. He doesn't have access to blue cards.
Yeah.
So you go, well, okay, that rules him out.
Until he joins the Blue Man group.
Now there are exceptions. If you go to the research lab, it'll let you draw 1 engineering card or 1 tactics card, even if you don't have access to it normally.
Yeah.
So you've got to watch what other players are doing. See what they do, see what they say.
Yeah.
And see how they behave. And try to figure out who's who. Because your lives depend on it in this game. If you want to get to Earth. Now, I played this game many times.
I played it twice, so.
And we've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
The times in which we won, we barely won. We barely squeaked out a win. And if we had maybe 1 more turn, we probably would have lost. Every time this game comes out and hits the table, it's always a close game.
Yeah.
Which I like. I mean, because sometimes you play this game and someone's so far ahead, you're like, oh, well, they're going to win, so why do I bother?
Right.
Or there's a guy who's so far behind, you're like, well, that guy's definitely not going to win. But in this, you never really know. It can turn really bad or really good on a dime. just like in the show. For those of you who watched it, it flips on you in a bad kind of way sometimes if you don't pay attention to who's who, what they're doing, and what's being said at the table.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing is...
And not this table, you know.
Well, no, but your gaming table, of course. I would say this game is very thematic.
It's thematic, and it's definitely... It's different. It's a lot different than some of the other games I've played, for sure.
Yeah, but it's definitely very thematic. Like I said, it definitely captures the first season of BSG in a box. Easy. It comes down even to the point where you have an order of succession of who's admiral, who's president. So you pick your characters, you check the order of succession. Okay, well, you have Adama and Rosalind. Obviously, there's your admiral and there's your president. Let's say those two characters are not in the game. Well, you go down the order of succession to see who is next in line to be president or admiral.
Right. Yeah.
The admiral has access to nukes that he can drop at any given time if things get really bad and unmanageable. Which can be, and when you jump, you have to pick a destination. And you'll go to the destination deck, draw 2 cards, and then you'll pick one. But it's the general who picks where you go. And it will tell you, it'll take you 2 fuel, but it'll take you 2 distance, or it'll take you 1 fuel and 2 distance, or 1 distance and 2 fuel, or whatever. Now, that's a big deal, because one of your resources is fuel. If your fuel hits 0, you're done. So if your silent happens to be the admiral, yeah, he's gonna pick the worst possible travel route just to wear down your fuel and take longer so they can push in for the win. So you've got to be careful about that. You stinking toasters. Yeah, we're looking at you. You know who you are, you dirty toasters. The president has the presidential deck, which will give them cards to do various different things. They can issue Cylon mug shots and different various thematically named cards that do different things. There are like 2 cards or a certain number of cards in the presidential deck. If you draw them, that will let you look at another player's loyalty card. And that comes in handy. So then you gotta time it. Because if they have 2 loyalty cards, you can only look at 1. But if you do it in the beginning of the game and they only have 1 loyalty card, unless you're Gaius or Baltar, then you look at their 1 loyalty card. And then you'll know what they are. And then you'll know for a fact, at least for the first half of the game, whether or not you can trust that individual. Once the second half of the game starts, which is the sleeper phase, once you hit 4 distance, the sleeper phase opens up, and then more loyalty cards are dealt out, and then both Cylons would officially be on the board if you have 2 in the game. So that makes it tough, because you really don't know, and it gets really, really crazy. That's why you gotta pay close attention to what people are doing to try to figure it out. I mean, people have been set up bad in this game. And when I mean people, I mean me. It's happened. They somehow got them convinced that I was the dirty toaster. So they brigged me. I tried to convince them I am not the dirty toaster. Let me out. And to be let out of the brig, you have to pass a skill check to get out. But everybody can play into that skill check. So unless you can convince the majority of the people to let you out and hope they play more cards and enough cards to get you out to counteract any Cylon cards, if any, you're not getting out. Which is which is a lot of fun though. I mean, it's a little annoying because you're just sitting there in the brig and you're like, okay, come on guys, seriously. I am not the dirty toaster.
Speaking of toast, that sounds pretty good. Toast.
So,
Toast.
now, there have been times where that blown up in your face. There was a game where we brigged this person. They managed to convince enough people they weren't a dirty toaster. Yes, Cylon. Well, guess what? They let him out. And right after he let them out on their next turn, they revealed and bad stuff happened. You gotta be careful. Which makes it fun because there's always suspicion. There's always gonna be accusations being tossed around.
Yeah.
So you gotta be aware. This can't be one of these games where you see those gamers, they just check out and they're just on their phone texting. No. You've gotta be in it.
And
that's right. Because you wanna win, but you've gotta be paying attention to what people are doing and what they're saying, like I said before. So, you better hope you're paying attention and hope you can piece together things to help you figure out who the Cylon is. Now, they do have a couple of expansions for this game, which add in other facets and other interesting things to this game.
I'm sure they add more.
They have one expansion where it adds a whole other ship, and that ship has an airlock. You can literally throw someone out the airlock and kill them.
Float them. Ha, the 100 reference.
Haha, yeah. Now, the problem with that is, you throw the wrong guy out the airlock, he could just be a human. You just kill the guy on your side. That sucks. And you'll know, right? You'll know pretty quick if you threw the right guy out the airlock or not. And this is in the expansion, not the base game. You throw the right guy out the airlock, he goes out. The reveal happens because that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna realize, oh wait, he's not dead. Dirty toaster. So you're gonna realize pretty quickly with that expansion. But again, you gotta be very careful. You can't just throw everyone out the airlock. That's dumb. You've gotta play smart. Because you could throw the wrong guy out the airlock. And I'll tell you, it always burns when you're that one guy they toss out the airlock and you're just a regular human. It hurts. It hurts. This game can get very emotional. It's true.
Yeah.
You're running high on pressure to get through this game and make it to Earth. I've had this girl literally almost brought to tears because she's trying to convince us she's not a toaster. It was just like, oh, dude. Either you're the greatest actress in the world, or you're really telling the truth. And I don't know, it's hard to tell sometimes. You just don't know. I mean,
especially if you get somebody that can act really, really well, or that can hide their, them lying.
Oh yeah. If you got that one guy who was able to lie through his teeth with ease, man, you better hope he's not the toaster. Now, I played both Cylon and Human. I don't know if you had a chance to do both.
I've been Human, but I've not been Cylon.
I like playing Cylon too. It's fun. There was an instance where red was the negative color. I threw a couple of red cards in there. But there were other people who had access to red who actually played into the skill check. But I played the red cards. Obviously, they did not. And the funny part was, I used that to my benefit. I did it on purpose. I played like a red card, not 2, but like I played 1. So it seemed kind of rather inconspicuous. 1 turns up. People may pass up, oh, it's just the Destiny deck. It may have been 1 red card from there.
Yeah.
But sometimes if the Destiny deck is throwing 2 red cards in, you play a red card, that's a 3rd one, that's when you start going, all right, which one of you dirty toasters put in this card? And you take what you did and try to blame someone else for it. So there's a lot of, it's a very social game. You got to be able to get in there. And that's the best thing about this too. Everybody's turn, it's not one of those good you just sit there and you don't do anything on a turn. On everybody's turn, you're always in it. You're always active. And you're always helping make choices in this game. So there's no real downtime, which I really like a lot.
Yeah.
Because when you get those games, there's too much downtime, you're just like, okay, when's it my turn? But this game,
it's basically.
yeah, and I mean, in this game, you're always there. You're always in the middle of it. You're always trying to help make decisions. You're always throwing your 2 cents in there to help whatever side you're on, whether you're being deceitful or not. So every turn, you're in there doing something. So there is no real downtime.
Yeah.
Which is great.
All right. So out of 10, I would probably say it's a good 8.
Okay, interesting.
That's me.
I guess I like this game a little more than you do. I'm not saying it's a perfect game by any means, but I'll have to give it a 9. It's almost the near ideal game.
Can we meet in the middle? 8.5. Give a game's initiative approval of 8.5.
I mean,
we'll just go 9. You know what? Screw it. We'll go 9.
9 is great.
9.
It's not quite a 10, but I mean, because it's a long game. You gotta take into consideration. It is a long game, and some people can't sit through a long game very easily.
Yeah.
This game will take you a couple hours.
Or longer.
Yeah, just depending on if you have to teach it or not. So, and this is a great game put out by Fantasy Flight. Fantasy Flight always puts out great stuff. You gotta see this. They got some really cool little pieces for this game.
Might have to get up and show them though.
That's fine.
Hey, I'm almost as bald as him.
My name's Saul. Okay. So, the little miniatures in this game are fantastic. You've got this guy right here. As you can see, it's a Viper, one of the human ships. You've got one of the scouting ships here, which is a great little ship you can use for your own means to try to further your cause. And now you've got the little Cylon Raiders over here, which you'll see plenty of these bad boys flying around. And then you've got these little punks right here. These guys are particularly nasty because these guys, they don't have weapons. They don't do that. Consider them giant transports for Cylons to board your ship, and then you've got to deal with them. And the only way you're going to deal with them is by going to the armory and start blasting some guys away. You've got your D8, your simple D8 for your jumps and for your rolls to see if you destroy a ship or not, which is great. If another big thing, I would say, now they have the base stars in this game, but they're not the cool plastic ones like the rest of the ships. They're just a cardboard one. But on one of the expansions, they give you nice plastic ones.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So I was kind of hoping that the base stars would be plastic like the rest of the ships, but it's a minor nitpick, I think, out of the overall structure of this game. So, and another way, if Galactica takes too much damage and you're not able to repair it all, bye-bye. Blowing the Galactica to a bunch of smithereens. You know?
Tangerines or smithereens?
Smithereens, sir.
Tangerines.
You wish. So, that's always cool. I wish they had actual, like, little Cylon miniatures.
Yeah.
But they're just a little cardboard cutout of their head. But, again, minor nitpick for this overall game. I like to play Apollo. I like being the pilot, which makes a whole another part of the game.
I've only played one character, so I can't really pick which one I like.
Well, I like the character on the show too, partly. But basically, one of the main reasons why I like him is he's a pilot, which means you get